Hello everyone, Mr. Linder here. Let's talk about some general functions of the immune system. So the immune system is designed to protect us against pathogens. And in order to protect against pathogens, we actually use non-specific and specific defense mechanisms. The non-specific defense mechanisms are typically referred to as innate defenses. Innate defenses are defenses that you're born with. And these types of defenses are not interested in what they are protecting against. So it doesn't matter if it's bacteria or viral or fungi or any other disease-causing entity. These non-specific innate defenses are designed to protect you against any of those things. So some examples would be things like your skin, your tears, your stomach acid, phagocytic cells of the body that go around and try to engulf bacteria that enters into the body. So these are innate, non-specific defenses. Specific defenses are essentially defense mechanisms that are designed to attack a particular antigen. So when we talk about specific antigens, it could be a specific virus, it could be a specific bacteria or bacterial toxin, and specific defenses are developed within the body to protect against that one particular type of antigen. And an antigen is something that is foreign to the body. So for example, if you have, say, a flu virus that enters into the body, there will be a specific defense against that flu virus, oftentimes in the form of antibodies. Antibodies are a great example of specific defense, where we build proteins that only go after that particular antigen. So it's important that in the immune system, non-specific and specific immunity are interconnected and work together so that they can combat antigens that enter into the body. So immunity really refers to the body's ability to protect itself against viruses and bacteria and fungi and any other disease-causing entities. So for example, this is a diagram of bacteria. This is an example of a virus. And so these would be entities, these would be potentially pathogens that enter into the body, and our immune system would provide protection or immunity against them. The immune system consists of lymphoid tissues, immune cells, intracellular and extracellular chemicals, all coordinating and working together to execute immune system functions. So for example, this is a diagram of the lymphatic system, and the lymphatic system has lymph nodes, spleen, this is the gut-associated lymphoid tissue. There are lymphocytes, and there are white blood, other types of white blood cells scattered throughout the lymphatic system, as well as the cardiovascular system, and getting into the interstitial spaces of the body to provide immunity against antigenic, potentially pathogenic entities that enter into the body. Some of the key features of immunity are specificity and memory. And a lot of that specificity and memory has to do with immune system type cells. So there's lots of different types of cells that are going to be part of the immune system. When we talk about specificity for the immune system, that has to do with being able for our immune system cells to recognize self from non-self. So self versus non-self. Basically what that means is that our immune system was educated about the different types of cells that make you who you are. So in essence, you are self based on the types of cells and the types of proteins that are expressed in the plasma membrane of your cells. And this was going on during embryonic development. So as you developed into the organism that you are now, the immune system was recognizing your cells as self, cells that belong within the body. In doing that, it allows the immune system to recognize non-self. It allows the cells of the immune system to recognize bacteria and viruses and cancer cells and even organ transplanted cells, tissues that have been transplanted. It can recognize those things as being non-self, as being antigenic, foreign to the body. And then our immune system can attack those non-self entities. So specificity is important so that we can mount a targeted response against non-self cells, non-self antigens, things that are foreign to the body. Also, memory is important. So when we talk about the immune system, it's also important to talk about memory. Memory allows the immune system to mount a faster and greater response on an antigen that has previously been introduced to the body. So if you have contracted the flu and your body has battled the flu, you are going to build up memory cells so that if you get infected by the same viral flu again, you can mount a faster response and a greater response so that you're less likely to become sick. Or if you do become sick, the duration of the illness is going to be minimal. So specificity and memory are two important aspects of how the immune system functions and operates. So in terms of the main functions of the immune system, being able to recognize and remove abnormal self cells, or being able to recognize and remove things that are antigenic to the body, are very, very important. Abnormal cells oftentimes occur within the body when growth and development go wrong. For example, like in the disease that we call cancer. Cancer cells can be detected and they can be destroyed before they ever get out of hand. So that's a function of the immune system to, again, be able to recognize self versus non-self. The immune system is also able to remove dead or damaged cells. This is where macrophages come into play. Macrophages are phagocytic type cells that can gobble up and engulf dead or dying cells, or can even remove pathogens as well. So they can be involved in multiple processes. And so protecting the body from disease-causing invaders, disease-causing pathogens is also a really, really important function of the immune system. So any microorganisms that get into the body could essentially cause illness. And so we have a variety of immune system cells from neutrophils to eosinophils to monocytes to lymphocytes that are going to help protect against these foreign pathogens to the body. But in essence, almost any exogenous molecule or cell can elicit an immune response. So it turns out that sometimes there are immune responses that are not appropriate. You can have immune responses against certain pollens. You can have immune responses against certain chemicals that are found in everyday products that you purchase. And these can trigger an immune response even though it may not be an appropriate response. So sometimes the immune system actually has its own pathologies. One of the pathologies of the immune system is an incorrect response to the body recognizing self versus non-self. So if the immune system was to attack itself, basically not understanding that these are cells that should be here, and they are recognizing those self cells as non-self, that would be called autoimmunity. So an autoimmune disease is when your own immune system mischaracterizes a normal cell in the body as a cell that doesn't belong there. A good example is what happens in type 1 diabetes. The immune system attacks the beta cells of the pancreas that are supposed to be there producing insulin, but the immune system says that those beta cells are now non-self, and there's an autoimmune reaction against those cells, thus destroying them and thus triggering juvenile diabetes, type 1 diabetes. The immune system can also be overreactive. For example, in allergies. Allergies are conditions where the response is out of proportion to the supposed threat to the body. So, for example, you may have an allergy to some sort of tree or some sort of plant. That allergy is that allergic response is actually an overreaction to something that you shouldn't have an immune system response to. So oftentimes these can have systemic life-threatening kinds of effects where the respiratory system becomes distressed, making it difficult to breathe, and that actually can have life-threatening consequences. So some allergies can be very, very severe. Peanut allergies as a good example of that. Also, the immune system can malfunction when it doesn't respond at all. So a lack of response would be what we call an immunodeficiency. And immunodeficiencies arise when some part of the immune system fails to work properly. Primary immunodeficiencies are based on genetic inheritance. Acquired immunodeficiencies would be the result of infections or could be the side effects of particular medications that are taken or even side effects of radiation therapy. A great example of an infection that causes an acquired immunodeficiency would be the HIV virus. So HIV can actually lead to acquired immunodeficiency when it affects the immune system cells and reduces their ability to respond properly. So these are some of the basics of the immune system. I hope that helps. Take care.